This is the Peter Greenwood Show. I am at the Edinburgh Fringe, as I am wont to do, and I have a guest to my left. Could you tell me your name and your show title, please?
Hello, my name is Georgina Thomas, and my show title is Georgina Thomas, Hysterical Soprano.
How are you today, Georgina?
I'm good. I've just done my show, so I'm feeling very relaxed. I had a lovely audience today. The curse of Black Wednesday did not strike.
Fantastic.
So, yeah, and it's a lovely sunny day outside.
Well, it's a sunny day for now, but that Black Wednesday thing is coming back. Apparently there's an eclipse tonight.
Actually, yes, that's true. Are you going to be watching the eclipse?
I don't know. I think I might not be so much watching the eclipse as hiding in bed eating snacks.
Sounds brilliant.
So one or the other. So what is Hysterical Soprano? Where did it come from? What's its origin?
Hysterical Soprano is a character comedy show that features some classical singing. It is a story all about this woman called Georgina, so yes, my alter ego, who wants to become the best soprano in the world, essentially so that she can get a lead role in a touring company. So she goes on this endeavour to try and do so, but along the way we find out that she has a little something that's holding her back, which is this little monster. So she goes on this journey to try and overcome this, and it's a comedy show featuring a lot of music. There's also a little bit of like horror, but in a comedy genre that comes through it. So the show came about. I'm a comedian, and I had a coffee one day with Will Jackson, who is the director of the show, and we were just talking about our passions, and I said, I kind of have this idea because I grew up doing a lot of classical singing. I'm a classical trained singer, and it's something that's never made its way into comedy before, or my comedy rather. And I was like, I think I'm going to do this. And Will himself is a classical musician, and he has directed some English touring opera, and he writes incredible musicals. So we just decided to team up, and he's directed this show that I've written and am performing at the Fringe.
How are you enjoying doing it?
I'm absolutely loving it. It's hard, it's tough. You have some good days, you have some bad days, but it just feels like such a privilege to get up on stage and to be able to tell jokes and sing. It's very self-indulgent. It's really nice. I'm really, really enjoying it, yeah.
So you are an actual soprano?
I am,
right?
yes.
I'm fascinated by music because I do not understand it. Like, it means nothing to me, and I wish I knew more about it. So how does one become a soprano and then take I'm not going to say a direct right angle, but a bit of a curve into comedy? How do those worlds collide?
Well, I have to confess, I'm a soprano, I'm a classically trained singer, but I'm not an opera singer, and I have some friends who are opera singers, and I've also been working with an incredible opera singer on this show. Her name is Olivia Dutney, and absolutely amazing. It takes so much training, learning all of the types of the music. There's such a strict way in which certain types of music obviously have to be performed and in lots of different languages. But for me, I started out kind of as a choral singer, singing in choirs, and it was something that I continued as I went to university and beyond, and I took back up singing lessons as kind of like just like a passion thing to do, and then I got to the point where I was like, well, actually there's something creative that's calling here, but comedy is just something I've been doing for many years, so I don't even know if that answered your question.
It does. Hold for just 1 second.
Were you all right with that?
I'm okay.
Okay, good.
Sorry about that.
You sure? That's all right.
What it is I've got this little... Excuse me. I'm going off all
you.
over the place. I'm so sorry. I've got this thing in my lungs. It's a weakening of the lungs. It's gross, but it's not contagious, so don't worry about getting sick. I promise. It's fine.
That's okay.
So, how much not opera singing, but singing is there in the show? And that must be an awful strain on your voice doing it 25 times in a row. How does that work at the Fringe?
Really good question. I knew what I was undertaking and that it would be really hard because I'm not a gigging, jobbing singer. I don't do it sort of every day, but I've done kind of a lot of preparation to kind of get my voice into a place. And also, I haven't been enjoying all of the nighttime festivities that the Fringe has to offer. I've been on vocal rest and just kind of like trying to keep as healthy and fit as possible, and looking after my voice. The music in the show, a lot of it is original music, and some of it is inspired by already existing music, and a lot of that opera. And I selected types of music that I really enjoy singing that works well with my voice, so that perhaps even on a day where I'm maybe not feeling as fresh, I know that it's still something that's comfortably in my range, because it's not a classical music show, it's a comedy show, and that obviously needs to come first. So yeah.
And what have been your favourite moments of comedy to put into it? And do you think people are surprised when they realise, oh wait, this isn't an opera show, this is comedy?
Oh, good question. I mean, I've had so much fun. So in the show, I do play many different characters. And finding those characters has itself been very fun, because some are inspired and based on people who, throughout our lives we've met. And some of the comedy is just very cheesy, very hammy, very silly and fun. And finding a lot of those jokes was just really enjoyable. Some of them have sort of been me sitting behind a laptop tapping away and sort of giggling to myself, and then other times have been in the rehearsal room, and that's so joyous. And you just think, oh gosh, when you've got a director and a pianist, as when we were kind of devising and working through the show, and it's like, oh, if I can make both of those guys laugh, you're onto something there. So it's that joy in the spontaneity. No spoilers, but lots of double entendre, lots of pastiche of this kind of grand opera world, which the character likes to think she resides in.
And when you're writing it, do you get to a point where I've read this joke 17 times, it's not funny anymore, but then when you hear an audience laugh, you're like, oh yeah, it is funny again?
Do you know what? Good question. And I often think the opposite. I think, oh, I've written a brilliant joke here. And then you put it in front of the audience and you're like, what?
Yeah.
No? So it really varies. And every audience is different. Every audience that comes in the door brings something, or maybe enjoys part of the show that you don't even realise. And that's really fun and really special.
It must be so nice when that happens every night.
Yeah, it really, really is. And although then sometimes it's also frustrating when you think, no, that's the best joke in the show. Why didn't they love that? But yeah, it just happens.
Or a joke happens early and you're like, okay, I should move that to the end because that one killed. It's never going to get better than that.
Exactly. Yeah.
So how long is the show, and was it a struggle to write music for the full show? Was there any songs you had to cut, and will those songs ever come out again? Is there a longer version of the show? That was 7 questions in one. So
no,
sorry.
7 very good questions. It's interesting. So the show runs at about 50 minutes, which I think is perfect time for a Fringe audience, because it sort of gives you that buffer if you've accidentally booked a show before or after that's a bit too close. But there were moments, there are certainly bits that were cut. The show isn't completely singing. There, it's sort of like a story with some songs, and then there's lots of wonderful underscoring and accompaniment even to just some of the scenes and some of the jokes. It was done by the fabulous, I'll give him a shout out, Anto Buckley, who is an absolutely brilliant composer. So when we did the sort of some of the previews, there were moments where some of the singing, I'd really tried to push it, and then I realised, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. So we cut it down and cut it back and thought, actually, it's a comedy show. Leave them wanting more with the singing. Let's focus on the gags. Yeah.
So who does inspire you in terms of singing? Do you go for the Celine Dion's, or I don't know, ask what's your range, but who do you like?
Oh God, it's such a good question and such a hard question. I really like a bit of everything. In terms of the classical singing, I don't really know. There's obviously the greats, or incredible people like the Renee Flemings, who are sort of these grand, incredible figures, and you listen to them do something and you're like, oh my God, that's actually how it's supposed to be done. That's utterly incredible. But to be honest, I mainly just listen to a lot of pop music, or I'll be listening to some R&B on my way to do my show, because that's what gives me power and strength and feeling myself.
It's
so
your pump up songs.
yeah, exactly. Or maybe some dance music or drum and bass or something to get me up Drummond Street in the morning.
What's your? I'm gonna ask a question. What is your oddest warm up song? Because I have an answer for this, and I want to see what yours is.
Do you know, there's actually a bit in the pre-show music which is I think that Will, my director, took it from something, but it's sort of got it's like opera and classical music remixed. And at first I was like, oh, is this the vibe? Does this work? And it's actually, this is perfect. And I've sort of Pavlov's dogs trained myself. Every time I hear this music, I'm like, oh yeah, here we go, ready to do the show. And that's just a bit of fun. I don't know if that's super odd. Yeah, I'll get back to you on that one.
We'll have a think about it. So what is next for the show? The show wasn't created for the Fringe, was it? Did it exist before the Fringe?
It did in parts, but the main idea was, to bring it to the Fringe and to give it life. And there have been some incredible people who've worked on creating this show and who've worked with me, and I'd really love to give it a life beyond the Fringe. I think it kind of sort of cuts between two genres very nicely, and it's a real fun, jolly romp of a show. So to take it to other places would be wonderful, to also be able to expand and develop it, and maybe, one day it's not just me in the cast, there's other people, or to have a pianist as well for the show would be incredible. But yeah, those things are obviously all sorts of funding and life dependent, but at the moment I am just really, really enjoying doing it in this capacity at the Fringe.
Maybe a soundtrack album?
Oh, I'd love. Yes.
You can do that. Just set up a recorder, press record, off you go. It'll be fine.
Excellent, yeah.
So what else are you working on besides this show? Is there anything coming up?
I've got lots of other different projects. I'm also in a double act called Thick and Fast, and we have been up to the Fringe together a few times. And we're always scheming and writing things. So we're working on a much bigger, longer project at the moment, but hoping to try and bring some more live stuff or short form bits. There's lots of schemes in the pipeline, shall we say?
I had to catch myself there, because when you said, I'm in a sketch team called Thick and Fast, I was almost like, oh, which one are you? Then I realised Thick or Fast is incredibly insulting, and I am not that kind of presenter.
You wouldn't believe how many times we have actually been asked that,
Really?
so you're not the first person.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
People just ask anything, don't they?
It's cheeky, I love it.
Where can people find out more information about you and about the show?
Good question. So you can find out more about me probably from my Instagram. That's where I'm posting the most at the moment, which is Georgina _Thomas_. And the show is on at Underbelly Bristow Square in Dexter at 1:15 every day for the rest of the Fringe, apart from the 17th.
Is that your day off?
That is my day off, yes.
Do you prefer I don't want to say earlier crowd, but did you ever want this to be maybe a late night show, or are you happy where it is at the moment?
It's a good question, and I think, there's so many benefits to having a show later in the day. You kind of have more crowds out and about. Theatre shows obviously great in the afternoons, because I think more people tend to see comedy in the evenings. But this slot I actually think is perfect for the show, because it's something that requires a lot of attention, and I think it's just quite a funny bit to start the day with. You might go and see some really serious theatre in the afternoon and maybe some comedy in the evening, but I think so far so good. The 1:15 slot has been treating me well.
Fabulous. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for coming on. Good luck with the show.
Thank you. This has been so lovely. Thank you so much.
Georgina Thomas, Hysterical Soprano, is playing at 1:15 Dexter at Underbelly Bristow Square every day up until the 31st, not including Monday the 17th. For more tickets, go to edfringe.com and search for Georgina Thomas. Until next time, I've been Peter Greenwood. I've been floating about the Fringe. See you next time.